You know, really I think that our life in such a big city as Moscow can be really very stressful. Yes, it is really so. And sometimes we are under pressure of our problems, of our relationships, of our friends, and we really need some place to escape. I'm happy I have my place to escape. In my first project I mentioned that from my very childhood I have been riding horses. And you know, it's my happiness. My first acquaintance with these wonderful animals took place when I was only 3 years old. My family and I, we decided to come just to go for a walk to one park, and there I saw a very high white horse, and I eager to ride it. And despite the fact that my mother was really afraid, my father permitted me, and the only thing that made me finish my riding was that the horse had to go home to have her dinner. And to tell you frankly, from that moment I really fall in love with horses. When I'm nervous and I come, for example, to my stable, I come to my horse, I take brushes, I begin to clean my horse, and then just establish that special contact with my horse. I would like to stay with her, not it. It's really very important for me. You know, every horse has its own character, and you should find such a special instrument to understand your horse, because it's really very important if you really want to achieve your aim during riding. If you really want to achieve your aim during your riding lesson, you should be very calm and kind to your horse, because you are partners and you're responsible for your horse. You know, once one really great rider said, if you're aggressive and negative, even don't approach to your horse. And if you're kind, you will feel what I, for example, feel every time I come to my horse and to my stable, great satisfaction and love. If you once have an opportunity, try to look to the horse's eyes. They have such a deep side, which includes such a great majority of emotions. Yes, now we perceive horses only like means of transport, for example, yes, or just like part of sport, but really they have done much more for us. So, not so long ago, we had such an important day as Victory Day. And do remember that horses also accomplished a great majority of different feats. I think that every family has its heroes, and for example, my family isn't the exception, yes? And my grandparents always used to tell me about feats accomplished by our animals, for example, by dogs. And in this case, we can't overestimate the role of horses, because it was really great. There were horses who always were ready to help the injured and wounded soldiers to get to their point. There were horses who always walked on the front home delivering food and medicine. And there were horses who could always get to the most difficult places, for example, dense forests. Of course, it's a common knowledge that cars had already existed at the time. But can you imagine some car getting into some dense forest? It's impossible. But horses, they could. And soldiers, they loved their horses, because horses were their friends, life friends, their partners. You know, during the Second World War, there were a lot of breeds which, so to say, participated, yes, in the Second World War. But there was one, the most notable, I would say, which is called Vladimir Heavy Draft. Do you know why they were so important and why even our enemies respected them a lot? Because they were horses of such a great endurance that they could even drag out from snow and mud the heaviest military hardware and equipment. Can you imagine this? Now horses also help us to cope with our problems. Firstly, with our stress. But there is something more. Have you ever heard about hippotherapy? Do you know what it is? It's some kind of treatment which uses horses to help children who have problems with their health, or for example can't work or can't talk, yes, and there are horses who help them to become better, and they really create their miracles. Just try to just, I don't know, to find some club which has this hippotherapy lessons. You know, I think that it's really important sometimes to go somewhere just to relax, to feel yourself free, because we get used to live in this asphalted jungle. Yes, yeah, sometimes we remember that, okay, I have my countryside, let's go to my countryside and to relax a bit. But you know, when I, for example, feel a necessity to feel myself free, I prefer going somewhere, and of course to ride horses. And not so long ago, I returned from one wonderful place. It is called city of Galich, and it is situated not far from Moscow. So here there is some kind of, I would call it, farm with horses, just like rancho. It wasn't my first visit to that place, that's why I knew in advance that I would like it. And you know, I really liked it a lot. It was my third visit to that place. Because when you are galloping on a very, very high speed, like this, on your horse, and you feel that you are free, and you feel the strength of your horse, it's incredible, you know? It's incredible, it's really difficult to express what you feel during galloping on a very high speed. And then, for example, you just ride it in some forest and you just walk without hurry, and there are no people around you who always irritate you, and there are no, I don't know, mobile phones, even that we don't have Facebook and contact and internet, and there are only nature, birds, and one little miracle. It's a foal of 4 months, and by the way, her name was Malinka, and she was always with us during all our riding adventure. I spent there only 4 days, but you know, when I returned to Moscow, I understood how happy I was, because those emotions which I received from horses, I can't compare with nothing. In my opinion, people who are just more involved to their interests, who just possess some range of interest, some range of topic, they are happier because they are more involved to their life in general. And you know, horses occupies a great part here in my heart, and I even can't imagine my life without them. And I'm really very happy near my horses. And you know, if you once have an opportunity, try to meet with horses, try to establish that wonderful contact, and you will surely understand how lucky are those people who spend their time near these wonderful and very, very noble animals. Thank you.